Beautiful lens. Works as advertised. A super quality lens, sharper than a box cutter, and not as difficult to use as some would think. I use this 45mm on a DX, so it's really a 67mm, so keep that in mind if you're debating between which models to get. If you buy it used from a reputable seller, try and snag one that has been corrected. If it's not available, then no biggie, Nikon will correct for a fee. And that's if this is even important to you. Google modification of tilt and shift mechanism of PCE lens and find the Nikon Support Service Center. Awesome, sharp lens. I can almost substitute this with the 50mm 1.4G. The focusing is very easy and lens is solid. I use mainly for weddings with a Nikon D800. Perfect combo. Definitely recommended. This is on the short list of my best Nikon lenses. I shoot a lot of tabletop products and food. This is a great go-to lens for super sharp close-up work with focus shift ability to either create more focus or to reduce focus to one pinpointed area. Very sharp lens. My shooting results for this lens have been very good. I do notice the lens shows less contrast, making the pictures seem a little flat out of the camera. This is an easy adjustment in your Lightroom or CS software. I have a write-up on trınıty.com for this lens. On the trail with the NIKKOR 45mm PCE also has some example photos. This is a large heavy manual lens. Works great on my D800 or D700. Focus is manual. The wide focus grip has positive feedback with a perfect balance of resistance, no slop. Aperture is manual or on D800/D700 offers the electronic diaphragm, meaning the camera body can stop down the lens. You can also hit the electronic depth of field button on the lens, to check your depth of field as well. You need to make all exposures with the lens in the default position, no tilt or shift, then set your camera, then tilt/shift, then take your picture. You will have to teach yourself to do this. I still forget sometimes. Knowing this lens is not intended for fast action or moving objects, due to the manual nature of the lens. This is a thinker's lens. This lens offers one additional feature, micro/macro. It is not a true one-to-one micro lens, but it does focus very close, giving you near micro capabilities. I have some micro photo examples on trınıty.com. The lens is best suited for landscapes, or when you need to control distortion for tall or wide objects, or for a focus point, hard to explain. You can also shift backgrounds out of focus or create foregrounds that are in sharp focus and everything else with nice bokeh. The lens has 4 knobs, 2 are larger for the tilt shift, and 2 are for locking the lens in place. On the 45 PCE all the knobs seem to work well for their intended function. Nikon warns users to keep fingers from between the knobs and camera body when turning the lens, pinched fingers. To get the best from this lens it will take some practice and experimenting. If you are thinking about dropping the money for one, you may want to consider a rental first to give it a try. Manual lens but incredibly sharp and diverse. One of my favorite Nikon lenses. I owned the 24mm PCE for a long time, and after getting rid of it bought this one when I missed the creative aspects of TS photography. Quality-wise, this lens is fantastic. If you're unsure about it, rent it from somewhere like Lens Rentals beforehand. TS photography isn't for everybody, and the price is steep. Beyond that though, this lens is a great choice. One thing I wanted to point out is that the aperture on here is variable based on focus. This is apparently a common feature of macro lenses, but I had no prior knowledge of it until I saw it in action on this lens. Focused at infinity, the aperture range is f/2.8, f/32. At its nearest focus, the aperture range is f/4, f/43. This can actually be a great thing though, since it gives you a longer depth of field, which is helpful when doing macro shots where doof is already insanely narrow. I recommend this lens. It's been great on my D50-100 and D70. This is a very specialized micro lens. The shift and tilt functions are designed to mimic the ability of a view camera to alter perspective and depth of field. This is a manual focus lens. It is well suited for macro work, landscapes and architecture photography. It can be used on any Nikon mount camera and has the CPU lens contact points for use on current DSLRs. But is it sharp? Incredible image quality. I use it mostly on my D610 and my D810, but have also used it on my D70-100 and D300s. On DX format cameras it has a effective focal length of 67.5mm, 1.5x factor. It is an expensive lens. But what are your photos worth? One feature that I was unaware of is the ability to tilt and shift at any angle. The lens has the ability to rotate, via click stops, in 30 increments, which opens up many possibilities. The f-stop range is f2.8 to f32. The f2.8 makes focusing very easy and provides a shallow doof if that is what you need. At f32, you'll have ample doof for many different types of photos. I have been using it, mainly, for tabletop photos. I have shot with Nikon cameras and lenses for over 45 years. This lens exceeds my expectations. Click link in description for more reviews.